This morning, I walked into our bathroom, and I think that for about the thousandth time, I looked at our medicine cabinet, and I thought we have to get a new medicine cabinet. So let me give you some background about our awful falling apart medicine cabinet in our bathroom. So we bought this house. Thank God we bought this house 11 years ago. And so we bought the medicine cabinet at the same time. At the time, it had these really nice little doors, like cabinet doors with mirrors on them. But over the years, the mirrors started falling off. So we just had like little doors, but with no mirrors. And then after a few more years, all the doors had fallen off also. So all three doors had fallen off. And it also had like two little drawers in the bottom. And one of them fell out. So basically, we were left just with a medicine cabinet that was like sort of falling apart with no doors, no mirrors, and only one drawer. So as I said, for about the thousandth time, I thought this morning I have to get a new medicine cabinet. So I don't know what happened this morning, but I decided this morning I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go and get a new medicine cabinet. So I went to the store, chosen a medicine cabinet, and I asked the guy just sort of out of curiosity. I said, so how do we install this? He said it's really, really, really sweet guy in the store. He said it's really, really easy. He was very, very patient with me, and he explained to me step by step how you do it. He said you take an electric drill, and you put in the plastic thingamajig, and then you put in the screw, and it's really easy. He said if there's a problem, come back. But it was really nice. So, but I was thinking, he was telling me all this, but I sort of thought, like, well, it sounds, easy enough, but I'm never gonna do that. Like, I'm not like an electric drill kind of person. I've never done any sort of fix-it kind of things in the house. I grew up in a house where, like, my father was a real handyman, did all, like, the electric drilly kind of things. And I'm sure, like, my grandmother grew up in a house like that also. And my great-grandmother in the shtetl, I don't think that she was, like, an electric drilly kind of lady either. So, I don't know, it's like genetic. Like, I'm not into that. I can't possibly do that. But so basically what happens in my house is, my husband's a very, very busy person. So either like I wait for like a few weeks or months for my husband to do electric drilly kind of things, or I call the fix-it man, but my fix-it man's also quite busy. So it also takes him like a few days or even weeks to come to do things. So usually basically I wait until I have like 10 jobs for him to do, and then so basically I'm waiting for weeks and months for people to do electric drilly kind of things. So I decided this morning, you're not going to believe this, Jewish mom, but I did it. I got an electric drill. In fact, it's right here. This is the electric drill I used to do it. Okay, I took out the electric drill, I plugged it in, changed the little drill bit, and I did it. I did an electric drilly kind of thing, and I screwed in I marked with a pencil where it needed to go on the bathroom wall, and I hung up. I installed the medicine cabinet in my bathroom, and I'm so psyched, and I'm so proud. Um, and um, and so it made me think like about all the things. So basically, this is really, really going to make my life easier. It's going to make my life a lot easier. Like for over the years, I just had to wait weeks and months even for people to do like electric drilly kind of things. So now I'm going to be able to do them myself. Isn't that unbelievable, Jewish moms? So I did it this morning, and it made me think, or made me remember all the things in my life that I always felt like I'm not a somethingy kind of person. Okay, so for example, I have a list of things. Okay, so 15 years ago, I thought, I'm sorry, not 15 years, 13 years ago, I thought I'm not a writing kind of person. I didn't do well in English class in high school. In college, I didn't do especially well in my papers. I never wrote for the college or high school papers. I'm not a writing kind of person. But 13 years ago, there was I really wanted to have like a book that's like about like spirituality and pregnancy. And somehow like I sat down and a few people encouraged me and I did it. I wasn't a writing-y kind of person, but I did it. It's not like I'm not like the best to this day. Like I'm not the best writer in the world, but I do it, and with the mistakes and with whatever, and I do it. And now like I'm actually a writer. Like that's what I do. So soon after that, I think 12 years ago, then I had this dream. I wanted to start a website. I was a website originally. I wanted to have a website about spirituality and pregnancy to promote my book. So I started a website that was at that time called jewishpregnancy.org. But I thought, but going back, like I thought, well, I couldn't possibly set up a website. I don't even know. I don't even have an email account. I don't even know how to look up anything on the internet. I didn't even know how to go like www like dot whatever. I didn't know how to do anything on the internet. How was I possibly possibly going to start a website. But you know, I did. I got like Idiot's Guide for Websites, and I hired somebody to show me how to like set it up on a server and whatever. And I did it. And it wasn't the best website in the world, but I did it. And I was a person, and I became like a website creator. That's what I did. So next thing is that I thought, you know, 6 years ago, I thought, you know, I would love to like make videos, and I could really like reach out to women like through inspirational videos about motherhood and stuff. But I thought, you know, I don't know anything about videos. Like, I don't own a video camera. I don't know any, I don't have a video editing system. I don't know how, I have no idea how to do that. I'm not like a video editing kind of person. But you know what I did? I guess I'd had experience with writing. I had experience with the website. I knew, okay, like I'm gonna get Idiot's Guide for whatever for making videos, and I did it. And I sat down. Made videos like in many times, like they were sort of ridiculously primitive and sort of like simple and like messed up, whatever. But I did it. I did it. You know. I now like I've made Baruch Hashem. Like now like like almost every week I can make a inspirational video for you guys. And so and it was just because I allowed myself to do it. I got over that label of not being like a video-y kind of person. And the same thing happened also with exercise more recently. About 5 years ago, I was really out of shape. But I had a friend who was really, really, really in shape, and she was like running marathons and running on her treadmill every day. And I thought, then it occurred to me like, well, you know, why can't I also be in shape? And I joined the gym, and you know, still to this day, like they're, you know, I'm pretty lame at the whole exercise thing. You know, the woman on the treadmill next to me, she's like, everyone around me is like sprinting on their treadmills, and I'm sort of like strolling, you know, on my treadmill, and I'm not so in shape, but still, like I keep in shape, and I feel much better, and Baruch Hashem, like I'm now, like I thought I wasn't an exercising-y kind of person, and now I am. Now, like I am sort of an exercising-y kind of person. I was just reading something about this by one of my favorite writers in Mishpacha magazine. The women's magazine of Mishpacha is called Family First, and the editor, her name is Shoshana Friedman. I don't know her personally, but I think she's probably my favorite writer. In Family First magazine. I think she's awesome, and she always writes sort of the editor's letter in the beginning, and I always find it like really always right on and moving. I love her. Okay, so she's writing this week about this topic. About when you give yourself a certain label, and then you realize that you can actually overcome that label. So this is what she says. She says that we as parents, it's so obvious to us that we're not supposed to call our children by labels like, oh, he's stubborn, he's stupid, she's lazy, whatever. We know we shouldn't do that with our children, of course. But then she explains, like, we do the same thing with ourselves. Okay, so she says, what we don't always realize is that we often employ the labeling system for ourselves. I have a friend who considers herself super organized. I am not Martha Stewart, and I don't make a habit of inspecting people's cabinets. I can tell you that her house is neat. Super organized? Of that I am not sure. But I often wonder what comes first, the chicken or the egg, or in this case, the label or the behavior. I sometimes suspect that because my friend has affixed this label to herself, she is spurred to plan her menus in advance, to give her counters an extra sweep before going to bed, to put up her cholent on Thursday nights, and to ensure a calmer Friday. After all, she's super organized. Self-labeling doesn't always make for neat cabinets. It can all too easily morph into self-stunting. You hear that? I'm going to read it again. Self-labeling can all too easily morph into self-stunting. You might have a colleague or a relative who's frightened to commit to challenges because, quote, you know me, I'm so ADD, there's no way I'd ever be able to do that, unquote. Or a neighbor who would never try the latest hit recipe because, quote, I'm the type who can burn water, unquote. Or a friend who won't start a diet because, quote, let's be honest, I'm an incurable nosher, unquote. What might be most disturbing of all is when our self-made labels hold us back from achieving spiritual growth. Me? One woman says, I'm not a frummie. I would never let myself get too emotional during davening. Or another woman would say, partners in Torah? Me? I'm not the type of person who has profound conversations about anything. Or another woman would say, tell the kids a story about tzaddikim? Come on! I grew up on Encyclopedia Brown. That's so not me. Unquote. Sometimes our fear of doing something disingenuous, something that just doesn't fit our self-proclaimed label, holds us back from efficiency or ambition or growth. And that's a lot more tragic than poor organization. Okay, so So I just want to bless all of us, bless all of you Jewish moms. I think that like a lot of us have like a dream. We have like a dream of something that we would love to do, but we couldn't possibly do that. Like I'm not, you're saying to yourself, I'm not an organized kind of person. I'm not a writing kind of person. I'm not a creative kind of person. I'm not a balabatish kind of, I'm not a balabustish kind of person. Like I couldn't possibly cook or clean or do something in the house or do that with my kids or be more patient, whatever. We give ourselves all sorts of zillions of labels, and then that they, as Shoshana Friedman says, like so perfectly, she says it ends up being so self-stunting. These terrible labels that we give ourselves. So I want to bless you, Jewish moms, that you should think about it, and think about something that you would love to do. Maybe think about someone that you know, someone that you really admire, something, and you just look at them and you're like, well, how did they do this and this and this and this? And then maybe think, well, maybe I can do that too. And you can let yourself do it badly. There's no law against doing something poorly the first time that you do it, or the thousandth time that you do it. You can do it, but you can do it, and these things can make a huge difference in our lives. And I think that you'll find, Jewish moms, if you can get over the labels which you've put on yourself, that dreams that you never would have even dreamed of that could come true actually will. I want to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing week.